And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Toyota Vios Challenge 2019. We are back for more racing action coming to you live from Bandar, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are your commentators here. My name is Victor Cax, and I'm joined here by Nick Harris. And we're going to be bringing you guys through the Super Sporting Class qualifying session. You can see the drivers all lined up on track, ready to roll, as we're going to be going into our 30-minute qualifying session.
Well, it is going to be an action-packed race here. We've seen already from the sporting class to the promotional class, right up to the about-to-come super sporting class. We are going to be seeing some action-packed races here, as we are going to be looking to see who will come up on top on the qualifying rounds for the super sporting class. Freddie Ang, Shafiq Ali, Boy Wong, Brendan Paul, Tengku Jan Lei, Kenny Lee, William Ho, Mark Darwin and Brendan Lim are going to be your racers on the track. 9 racers are going to be vying for pole position here and the best time for this final qualifying session of today.
These 9 racers represent some of the veteran drivers here in the Malaysian motorsport scene. We've got a lot of very familiar names here. Particularly, we have Tengku Jan Lei. He is known as the Prince of Drift. And the thing is that, you know, besides being very handy on the Toyota Vioses, he's also been known to take a lot of cars sideways. And we're going to be seeing plenty of sideways action, I believe, here at this race, as these Vioses, they love to slip and slide around.
Yes, they do. We are going to be looking at how these racers are going to be competing against one another for the best times and pole position. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been waiting for the race, this is going to be our final official qualifying for today in the Super Sporting Class of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Vios Challenge 2019.
So now we're seeing 4 cars go out on track. We have, I believe that's Brendan Lim in the lead right now in the car number 86. We also have Kenny Lee in car number 38 of Kagani Racing. We also have Shafiq Ali, who was the winner of race 1 that happened in Kuala Lumpur earlier on this year. And they're going to be going out on the out laps now. This is going to be their chance to get the cars warmed up enough so that they can get those flying laps in.
Beautiful attack there coming in on that long straight, coming out from turn 4 right into turn 5 here. We are going to be watching some of these drivers here nicely taking it up from car number 38. We are going to be heading over to the next turn here, as they are going to be attacking the next few turns with crazy amount of speed here. The pace that's being set by these drivers in the Super Sporting Class is definitely indicative of how well and how familiar they are with the platform as well as the racetrack.
So the thing is that given that we already had 2 qualifying sessions before this, by the time these Super Sporting Class guys are on the track, the track is completely green. The grip is going to be at its optimal condition, and with Brendan Lim right now coming across the line, he's going to be starting his first right lap, and he has plenty of room in order to do so. Let's see what times he will be able to set. As far as official practice is concerned, his last time was actually a 117.616, and that put him in P7 during the official practice. Let's see if he's going to be able to better that coming to qualifying, because you know that he's definitely raring to try to get as high up on the position as possible.
Well, the average official times for the practice rounds was 1 minute and 17, with Mark Darwin coming out on top with the fastest time of 1 minute 16 and 490th of a second. So this is the man to watch, Mark Darwin in car number 63. However, we are going to be following Brendan Lim. Beautifully done on that turn there. Nicely taking it off with a beautiful attack on that turn.
He's literally pushing it to the limit there, getting as close as he can to the concrete barriers, because again, you know, you want to be able to maximize your racing line in the circuit as tight as this, especially in this sector here, which is sector 2. This is where the track gets very, very narrow, so one small mistake there could find you literally up against the wall. We're right now focusing on car number 38, Kenny Lee. Second fastest sector, only be taken over by Freddie Ang earlier on, but then now he's going to be coming across the line. Let's see what lap times he's going to be able to set in. Kenny Lee now is going to be provisional. And we got time for 118.5. Brendan Lim in P2 right now at 118.6. We're going to hold 118.7. We'll take P3. We've got a few more cars right now, currently on their flying lap. Let's see if anyone else is going to be able to bring a challenge here to the timing board as we are proceeding on with this super sporting qualifying session.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful attack here, coming in with average times of 1 minute and 18 here being set by Kenny Lee, Brendan Lim, and William Ho. However, Freddie Ang catapults himself forward with 1 minute 18, 279 of a second. We do see that, we do predict that these times are just going to get better and better with more time in the track.
Tengku Jan Lei has just set a 116.935 right off the bat, and he's going to be taking pole position away from Freddie Ang and Boy Wong. Mark Darwin will be setting a time of 117.9. He's currently second fastest on track right now, sitting very comfortably in P2 at the moment. Boy Wong right now setting a very strong time, taking on to the aces into P3 as we are seeing some more cars come across the line now. We have Brendan M still stuck in P6 at the moment. William Ho is going to be able to get himself on the track. The second runner is looking pretty strong right now on track, having set a 118.2.
A bit of a fact here for you. Tengku Jan Lei has already beaten his personal time of 1 minute 16 and 9:52 with a time today of 1 minute 16 and 9:35 of a second. So this is going to be very interesting to see how Tengku Jan Lei is just going to keep getting better and better with the time being set for himself already. We do see Freddie Ang as well as Mark Darwin right now nipping at the heels of Tengku Jan Lei with 1 minute and 17. So this is going to be a very competitive qualifying round for the Super Sporting Class Series.
You can see these guys literally just getting as close as they can to the concrete walls. Like, I'm just worried for the safety of the side mirrors right now, because the thing is that these guys are just going in at absolutely full pedal to the metal now. Tengku Jan definitely is setting a pretty high bar for all these other guys to try to meet up to in that very distinctive black and yellow 23 car. We're currently riding now with car number 63, Mark Darwin, who had set the fastest time during the practice session. Let's see if he's going to be able to get back into it when it comes to qualifying, because we know that he is also able to hit the 116, so he could have pretty much the best shot out of everyone else on the field right now of challenging Tengku Jan for that pole position.
Well, Tengku Jan right now seems very comfortable here, but we are going to be following Mark Darwin from Laser Motor Racing right now, nicely attacking this long straight before heading over to that next turn on turn 5 here. Coming in beautifully done from him. Nice exit, picking up the speed as we are going to be watching him attack towards the next set of turns.
So the thing is that we're entering to here, this is where the section is going to start to narrow up. So he's going to have to be very clear on what kind of lines he wants to take through Sector 2, because getting a very fast Sector 2 here can make it very easy for him to set a really good time here. Oh, looks like someone has just hit a wall there. Car number 21, Boy Wong, is now looking stranded on track right now. Huge damage there to his front left fender as well as his side mirror, and looks like a red flag will be called. The session will be stopped now, as cars will have to slow down for sure. That's a lot of damage there onto his car.
On the left side of his car there, with a little bit of damage towards his tire here. Hopefully Boy Wong is safe and sound with not even a scratch on him. And man, oh man, has it been a crazy one. Let's take a look at how it happened, and look at that. Shadows of Brendan Paul's yesterday's accident from Brendan Paul. I think it was the same corner.
Same corner, the same exact place. The thing is, unfortunately for I think for Boy Wong, his car looks pretty alright compared to Brendan Paul. Like, remember, Brendan Paul's car got literally warped from the impact, but it seems like the damage here is mostly going to be on that front left wheel and suspension. So hopefully that should not be too much trouble there for the mechanics, but definitely quite a huge blow here for Boy Wong, who up until this point was sitting in P4 and was looking to try to better his time of 117.8.
Now it seems that time lock has been stopped at 23:44. 7 minutes have elapsed here as a safety car coming in as quickly as possible here. Remember, time as well as safety is number one priority here. They don't want to be spending way too much time on the track, trying to get it as quickly as possible. We do see the safety car right now making his way really quickly across the track, trying to get towards the collision that has happened towards Boy Wong.
Yeah, so we're going to hope that Boy Wong is going to be okay. It looked like it was a serious impact though, because remember, Brendan Paul had a little bit of injury on his collarbone from the crash in that exact same spot. Okay, we have not seen him any of images of him right now in the car, so he's going to have to sit tight and wait there as the safety car will be coming his way.
And here we are, we're going to be watching towards the pit side here as all the cars are going to be on standby as the safety car makes its way, as well as the tow truck coming in to make sure that everything has been removed from the track there. Judging from observations here, a little bit of damage towards Boy Wong's car, which isn't too bad compared to Brendan Paul. I think amongst all the collisions that we've witnessed thus far in this entire race, Brendan Paul has been the one to take in the most damage. As we see here, the marshals right now working really quickly to make sure that it is efficiently and quickly removed from the track to avoid any obstructions and to make sure that all racers are given a safe space to race in.
So it seems like Boy Wong actually glanced a little bit on the right-hand side there before that corner. You can see the marshals standing on the top of the screen there. They're actually inspecting some of the damage done by Boy Wong onto the concrete barrier. So I think by glancing off of that wall there, he lost control of his car and understeered completely. We're going to see the replay again of the incident, and look at that. This is a lot of understeer that he realized very quickly on that there's no way to recover from that. You know, we saw that with Brendan Paul yesterday. We're going to be seeing it with Boy Wong again today, and man, oh man, that's a huge amount of damage there on that front left.
And man, it is quite a bit of damage there coming in from the highlights. It was a bit of understeer problems here coming in as he was taking that corner, taking that turn, excuse me, with quite a bit of speed. And man, oh man, was it a crazy collision towards the concrete divide, concrete barrier. And luckily enough, Boy Wong will not be too seriously hurt or too seriously injured, hopefully, as we will see that our marshals there quickly and efficiently looking towards removing the obstruction from the racetrack.
Well, I think the good news here, at least for Boy Wong, is that having set a 117.8, he should be able to stay on the middle of the field for quite a bit. But the thing is that knowing that other drivers, like such as Mark Darwin, may be capable of setting a 117 here. We still have Kenny Lee, Brendan Lim, and Brendan Paul still unable to set their fastest times yet. They're so far sitting in the 118s, Brendan Paul in the 119s, which can be considered a slight miracle there because of given how much damage his car sustained during the crash in practice. But so far, it looks like his car is up and ready and is able to get into qualifying here. Let's see if he's going to be able to make up for that. But for now, though, everyone's going to have to wait and see as Boy Wong's car is going to be towed out of the track.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from beautiful Kuala Lumpur City right there, the marvelous Kuala Lumpur City skyline and the beautiful Twin Towers and nicely piercing the skyline. As we look at that, ladies and gentlemen, quite a big dent there. Looking at how the chassis is actually bent inside, it's quite a bit of damage there coming in, Victor.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of that crumple zone from the views there really showing itself. But the thing is that I don't think the chassis of the car looks too bent. So I think by just repairing the front left fender and as well as changing some of the suspension out, they should be able to get that car turned around nice and quick. It's definitely not as big as a hit as we saw from Brendan Paul yesterday, where they literally had to use a forklift in order to straighten the car out to be able to get it turned around in time. But hopefully, well, Boy Wong isn't too badly hurt from that little crash. We do see the concrete barriers actually moved a little bit. Not sure whether they're going to be calling the forklifts here to try to move it out of the way because, quite frankly, that could be a point where the race director might want to have a really close look at when he comes out on track.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are going to be adjusting themselves. But man, oh man, the Super Sporting Series definitely shows a crazy amount of speed, a crazy amount of urgency. The safety car right now making a safety lap around the entire track, doing its last inspection before waving off the red flag, and they will continue on with the qualifying rounds.
Yeah, there's still 23 minutes left in the qualifying session, so still a lot of time here for these drivers to try to make up for lost time, I should say. But so far, in terms of the results of provisional results, let's say for the qualifying session, Tengku Jian Lei is still sitting in P1 with the 116. Mark Darwin is yet to break into that, having set a 117.4, but we know he's perfectly capable of doing so, having done a 116 in practice. Freddie Ang right now is in P3 at the moment. Boy Wong, who had crashed out, is in P4. William Ho is now in P5 here, and if he can actually set a good 117 time here, he could actually overtake Boy Wong, as Boy Wong will have to sit out the rest of this qualifying. We're inspecting the amount of damage there. Look at that rim. It's like basically hanging off by a thread there. Man, I certainly don't envy the job of the mechanics now, who literally have to figure out how best to repair that and get the car ready for the race later on today.
Race director right now having a quick word with the marshals as well, so this is going to be very interesting to see. But look at that amount of damage, man. Even the rim is coming out. There's a bit of bends there coming in towards the under the bottom headlight. Man, that was just an insane. And at the speed that Boy Wong collided with the barrier, man, oh man, that was just crazy.
Yeah, so overlooking the skyline right now here in Bandar, Malaysia. We are at the Royal Air Force Museum here in Bandar, Malaysia. So if you guys want to come down and check out this race, you know, you can go ahead and use your grab code here. We got a special grab code specifically for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. So just use the code GRAB2TGR. That's GRAB2TGR, and you get a 15 ringgit discount in your grab trip coming down to this event here. So guys, you better come down here because there's a lot of things here besides the Rios Challenge. We also got a Toyo Drift demonstration that was that actually took place just a few moments ago. You can also come and check out the brand new Gazoo Racing Supra. It's an exclusive showcase here where you can see the latest Supra out here by Toyota. We also got some simulated machines here, so you can get a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be a racing car driver. And also for the kids out there, you can come by and take part in the Beyblade tournament, and also view a special appearance by Agent Ali, who is right here at the festival. So guys, if you guys want to enjoy some amazing motorsport action here, do come by here to the Royal Malaysian Air Force Base here in Bandar, Malaysia.
For those of you in attendance, the Gazoo Racing is a global brand, and in Malaysia, we are introducing Gazoo Racing through the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival, the Gazoo Racing Esports Championship, Gazoo Racing Garage, and Gazoo Racing Products. So for those of you who want to know more information, make sure to follow Toyota Malaysia on all social media for more information and updates.
That's right. So for today, after the qualifying, we're going to be seeing the actual races. We had seen the qualifying for the promotional class as well as the sporting class. And right now with the super sporting class currently being paused, we're going to have to wait for them to clear out the track before we resume that. But let's go ahead and jump into some of the highlights for today.
Let's take a look at the highlights. Let's go. And these are the highlights for the sporting qualifying rounds, and it was a very good one here, very action-packed, coming in from all of these races here as we are looking at the amount of action that take a look at how beautiful the inside some of these turns, Victor.
Look at that, like Dream Chaser car 255, literally pushing the limit there. You can see these cars, even though they are effectively road cars, but these guys are pushing it as they're race cars. These guys are literally trying their best to squeeze out every last bit of performance out of these stock vehicles, and it's been an absolute pleasure to see the way they've been actually simulating cars through the Bandar Malaysia track.
All from the right is the word of Toyota, and man, you see all these races showing that how they are all about the drive. And that is enough for the highlights here as we go back to the beautiful KL City skyline. And man, oh man, it's just a beautiful day, a beautiful Saturday coming in to you from the Royal Air Force Museum. And it has been crazy as we did see collisions, we did see some crazy action, and we did see some crazy times being set up by a lot of these drivers. However, looking at the results right now, Tengku Janlei is still going to be on top with 1 minute and 16. Mark Darwin, Freddie Ang, Boy Wong as well are going to be with 1 minute and 17.
Yeah, and that's been the fastest times we see it all day long at this track here. Even the sporting class is not able to break into the 116s here. So you know that the super sporting class is literally where the best racers are at. And it's been an absolute joy actually seeing the way they've been able to, show what the Toyota Vios is capable of when it comes to these racetrack.
Oh. All right, we've got another highlight for you guys, and it is going to be the promotional highlights from this morning's qualifier. Let's take a look. And there we have it.
Yep, the promotional class mostly comprised of local celebrities as well as a special guest, which is the Chief Motorsport Officer of UMW Toyota Malaysia, Akio Takayama. And these guys they're not necessarily professional racing drivers, but you really couldn't tell by the way they've been handling these Vioses here. We did see a crash here. This was of Iron Edge's in car 9, and definitely left a lot of people a bit frustrated there in the pits there, but she definitely was her high spirits and probably will be back for the races. The damage superficial, it seems like it might be a bit of work ahead for the mechanics there in order to do so. But as far as the promotional class goes, I think the lap times here are pretty consistent as well. It's pretty competitive. In fact, the leader of the promotional class, Sean Lee, was able to set a 118.8, and that easily put him in the top 10 if he were actually to compete in the sporting class.
Well, it's beautifully done there coming in from the promotional class drivers here, and big smiles and big gestures coming in from Sean Lee, who did walk away with the best time in that qualifying round of 1 minute and 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's exactly right. So as we're still awaiting the call from the race director in order to resume our qualifying session, I'd like to remind you guys to actually drop by here because we are live in KL. We are literally near Sungai Besi in the Royal Malaysian Air Force Museum, and they've converted this old runway to become our racing track for race number 2 of this Vios challenge. Like literally the entire length of the runway is being used as a main straight here, so you know that these Toyota Vioses will be going at absolute top speed. And this is going to be an exciting place to be because besides all the motor racing, there's a lot of activity here, especially for the family, because you can go ahead and check out the Beyblade tournament for the kids, the Agent Ali mascot appearance. You can also get a taste of motor racing through the GR Velocity simulator machines. You can also check out the brand new Toyota GR Supra showcase that's actually here in the Gazoo Racing Festival. And of course, the Vios Challenge here is going to be coming in underway pretty soon, I believe, as long as the race directors deem it safe now for the drivers to come out on track.
All right, beautifully done there coming in from all of our super sporting racers, and look at that, all the cars here on standby. So man, oh man, it's been a very good stuff here being shown from a lot of these drivers here. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by how these drivers are working them out here. And we do see a lot of talent here in terms of how well they are performing, how well that they're handling themselves, and the amount of speed that they're attacking these turns is just impressive.
Yeah, exactly right. And the thing is that we've seen some of the talents from last season's sporting class actually upgrade themselves into the super sporting class, particularly Brendan Paul, who had been competing in the sporting class. Now he's going to be up with the big boys here. here, and it's been a pleasure to see that he's able to keep up with them despite having the crash in practice, which definitely is going to affect his performance somewhat, because having had a word with him in the pits early on this morning, it was apparently clear that the car, even though it is already fixed up, it is not exactly in tip-top condition.
All right, race director already giving out instructions towards the racers, and it seems that it is going to be 2 minutes before we resume. 1 more minute left.
Yep, 1 more minute left before we'll be resuming our qualifying session. We still have 23 minutes and 44 seconds left, so there's a lot of time here for these drivers to be able to come out, do their out laps, set their flying laps, and hopefully be able to upgrade themselves on that positional board. But right now, the man to beat when it comes to super pointing class is still the Prince of Drift, Tengku Zhan Lei, having set a 116. Mark Darwin, who is able to set a 116 in practice, could be the next best person to challenge him for that throne. But at the moment, he's still sitting in the 117.4. Freddie Ang currently in P3 is looking to try to also fight Mark Darwin for that P2 spot if Mark Darwin isn't able to upgrade himself. But Boy Wong, who we saw crashed out early on in the first half of qualifying, is going to have to sit out the rest of this, as his mechanics are going to have to work overtime here to get the car turned around. But now, horn has been sounded, and we're going to be seeing these drivers come out on track to resume this qualifying session.
23 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock for the super sporting class of the qualifying rounds here today. And man, oh man, has it been action-packed here with Boy Wong dropping out of the race there with an unfortunate collision here. But we shall see this race actually be a three-way fight for first position here between Tengku Zhan Lei, Mark Darwin, and Freddie Ang. We do see as well that William Ho, Shafiq Ali, Kenny Lee right now are going to be fighting off towards the bottom four part of the standings.
So now we're seeing all of these cars coming in too wide as they come down towards turn 4. This is the big chicane here coming up before the hairpin, and you can see Tengku Zhan Lei is leading the pack, moving in towards the hairpin now, leading a train of cars as they come around towards the end of the straight, and they're going to be entering to sector 2. Again, this is going to be the sector where a lot of these drivers are going to have to watch out. They've seen a lot of crashes happen on that T6, and the thing is that they don't want to have a repeat of what happened earlier on with Boy Wong, and also what happened with Brendan Hall, which he crashed out during practice yesterday at exactly the same spot. So it's definitely going to be an area where the drivers will have to watch out for, because I believe Boy Wong crashed out as a result of having to blast the wall to his right there as he came around turn 6. Now we're going to be seeing the cars going to come down to the front straight up with Zhan Lei now, and it's going to be out onto his flying lap on Freddie Ang, William Ho, and Brendan Lim. Right, we are going to be checking out some of the turns here. We are going to be going back towards turn number 4 here, as they are going to be coming in from Tengku Zhan Lei right now, straight ahead, coming out beautifully onto that long straight before heading into turn 5. Tengku Zhan Lei leading his entire train of cars. Right behind him is Freddie Ang in car number 3. He's going to be taking a pretty tight line, actually, going through the hairpins here. That allows him to turn in a little bit earlier compared to everyone else, and you can see how close he gets to the concrete barrier there. He definitely is trying to make the most out of his racing line here, as this track here, with the concrete barriers being around the sides there, doesn't give a lot of guys, to try to maximize the speed. Oh, going sideways there as he enters into the narrow section of this track in T7. But he is able to keep it together there as expected of the Prince of Drift. That title there says a lot about him, because he knows how to keep a car not only going fast as possible, but also going sideways. Beautifully done from Tengku Zhan Lei. How he attacked the chicane was just beautifully done, showing a little bit of his drifting prowess. Exactly. Brendan Lim falling right behind Freddie Ang right now, who is He's following in the coattails of Tengku Jan and hopefully hoping to actually better his own time, because at the moment Freddie Ang is currently sitting in P3. Mark Darwin has just set the fastest first sector so far, and he's definitely going to make it a bit hard for Freddie Ang to keep up. But the thing is, Sector 2 is definitely where a lot of the racing is going to be for this qualifying session, because any of these drivers who can really master Sector 2 is really going to be able to set themselves up ahead in that leaderboard.
Beautifully done there from Freddie Ang, coming up from that chicane here. Now we do see here coming in from the side of turn 4. We are going to be heading onto a nice long straight before heading into turn number 5. Look at Brandon Lim right now, taking it off, nicely attacking that turn there, and beautiful exit.
Yeah, Brandon Lim in car P6 from 10 Code Racing has definitely seen some better days. He's currently sitting in P7. So far, he's able to get a really good sector 1 time out of the way. He's certainly sitting in the 118s now, as Nipujan and Freddie Ang just go across the line. They still maintain the positions now. Nipujan in P1 and Freddie Ang in P3. William Cole also maintaining his time now of 117.9. I mean, it's just only set at 122. Is still going to be sitting in P5, but now we got a bit of movement here from the back. Shafiq Ali, the winner of race 1, is able to get himself up into P7 with a time of a 118.3, and definitely he's going to be racing Kenny Lee for P6 very, very soon.
Look at Tengku Jan Lane now taking on that long turn, excuse me, the long straight before heading out turn 5. Now this is some beautiful stuff there coming in from Shafiq Ali, coming out from turn 5, attacking it out. Nicely done here, as we are going to move on towards turn number 6 after that long straight. Another straight here before heading over towards turn 6.
Turn 6 is definitely going to be the place where this track will start to narrow down. We've seen a lot of very brave drivers literally take the car sideways through here. And we've also seen at this minute corner, turn number 8, this is a place hard right here, I believe, for a lot of drivers, as we spoke some of them crash out here. We have the pit crews right now just looking on with a lot of concentration and intent here, as they're watching their drivers take those cars out on track and set their lap times out.
Beautifully done there coming in, and we are going to be watching here coming in from the long straight turn 4 right onto turn 5. We do see a lot of these drivers coming up from turn 4 heading onto this long straight again before they're going to be heading onto turn 5 here. That hairpin that is going to be quite a bit of slowdown here before heading on to that another long straight before turn 6.
So we are seeing Freddie Ang now getting himself upgraded to P2, having set a 117.0, just barely getting into the 116 club. He just needs to go a little bit faster coming down the straight. But we also see William Ho able to upgrade himself up into P4 now, 117.5. Shafiq Ali has been slowly but steadily climbing up the ladder. Earlier on he was in P7, now he's in P5, having set a 117.7, and definitely increasing as time goes on in this qualifying session. 17 minutes left on this session, still a lot of time left here for these drivers to try to put their absolute best on this track. As now we are watching car 63, Mark Darwin, the man who was able to sit 116 in practice. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again when it comes to this race here, but unfortunately his second one time doesn't look particularly healthy though, so we're hoping to see if he's going to be able to better that time as this session continues to track.
It is going to be very interesting to see how these long turns are going to be, how these long straights are going to be in terms of speeding them up and slowing them down before they hit into some of these turns, because we did see that that collision point where Brendan Paul met with his collision, as well as Boy Wong did as well, is quite a bit of speed up before they hit onto that barrier. So it is a bit of a scary turn there, because it's very sharp.
Yeah, because the thing is that turn 7 and 8, they're really fast chicane, and most drivers want to try to take that as straight as possible. And what we saw with Boy Wong was that, you know, he stuck his car so close to the right-hand wall that he basically glanced off it, and as a result, just completely lost control of his car and ended up into the wall in front of him. He's a little bit fortunate in the fact that he wasn't carrying a lot of speed going through there, but the fact remains that that is a place where I think it's really dangerous for the drivers if they try to push the limits too much. So we see that some of the drivers here, you know, are taking a bit of a safer approach. Some of the drivers, like Jan over here, basically doesn't have a care in the world, like literally throws his car through that chicane as fast as he can.
And I guess it just shows that I think it just shows his experience with drifting, definitely showing the ability to just handle some of these turns with relative ease here. We are going to be watching on to William Ho here as they are going to be going for a nice little come out from that turn 4, and beautifully done there coming in from William Ho as he goes onto the long straight before heading into turn number 5, picking up speed.
William Ho is a single father and actually started off his racing career really early on and being introduced to rallying straight out of high school, and now he's going to be rolling in with the Vios coming through chicane. He's currently sitting in P4 now, having set 117.5. Hopefully he will be able to better his own sector, but well, that still will remain to be seen. Freddie Ang, who is currently in P2, is just sitting pretty in the pits right now, just waiting to see whether or not he will be able to go out again to try to possibly defend his position against Mark Darwin, who is slowly but steadily been trying to best his own time here. But Freddie Ang right now is definitely the man closest to try to compete against Deng Jiang for that 116.9. And if he's able to keep that up, maybe we might see a slight changing of the guards here when it comes to this front row.
Now looking at Brendan Paul right now from Dream Chaser with 1 minute 18 as best lap already clocked in. He has seen better days in terms of timing here as he beautifully attacks that turn coming out, and look at the amount of speed that he is going to be taking out here as we are going to be going on to turn 5 there. That is turn 5 where he met with a collision. Beautiful attack there coming out as he is going to be going back onto that turn before heading over towards the checkered flag.
Fast time yet, we'll still see, but I would say that it's practically a miracle that he's able to be out here at all, given how badly damaged his car was from practice. I mean, you couldn't tell from the screens there, but that car at one point had his front nose completely bent to the side, and you know, they just literally had to use a forklift in the pits in order to try to straighten it out, crack the chassis a little bit in the process. So Brendan Paul himself expressed a slight tempered sort of expectations when it comes to this qualifying session, but quite honestly, him still being able to set a 118.9 here is still pretty impressive considering the circumstances.
Alright, now we're going to be watching Mark Darwin right now on 3rd spot. Yesterday was able to clock in a beautiful time, however today not as lucky here as Tengku Janle as well as Freddie Ang are going to be trailing ahead. Average time for super sporting qualifying rounds has been 1 minute and 17. Nicely done from the majority of our drivers.
Yeah, Mark Darwin, who, by the way, is also the champion of the MCR Series 2018, is definitely looking to try and add another feather to his cap here when it comes to the VOS Challenge. So far, he's able to demonstrate a strong pace when it came to qualifying. When it came to practice, hasn't quite been able to do the same here when it came to qualifying, and not too sure whether that is an issue with his car, perhaps some changed conditions here when it came to this particular qualifying day, but we're hoping to see if Mark Darwin will be able to upgrade himself in that P3 position. Coming across the line now, he will be starting his flying lap.
Now Mark Darwin right now starting off his flying lap beautifully down there as he goes onto the long straight before heading on to turn number 5. Beautifully done there as we are going to be transferring. Nicely done as he attacks that with a little bit of spin there on the backside of his car as he attacks turn 5. Nicely done there coming in from Brendan Paul as he's going to be exiting from turn 5, heading into turn 6, building up a little bit of speed here coming in. Brendan Paul right now definitely feeling a little bit of urgency here, trying to get as better time as he can to make up for the collision that he experienced yesterday during the official practice.
Unfortunately, the second time is only 35 seconds only, whereas most of the field now is already hitting the 34s. actually it not quite is. He is sitting only at 119 on this lap.
Now, beautifully done here as we see it. And right now, he's just picking up a little bit more speed here. 1 minute 18 is going to be the time that he is going to come out from. And as we come out from turn 4, Brendan Paul right now looking to build up a little bit more speed, heading on to that long straight before heading on to turn number 5, wondering whether or not he will be able to pick up that more speed.
But right behind him is Brendan Lim in that 86 car. He's right now able to set a really fast sector 1 off of Brendan Paul's draft there, I believe. And having set a 34.3, Brendan Paul now already shaved off quite a bit of time, but he's still stuck in at 35 seconds when it comes to sector 1. So his top speed definitely is still kind of affected actually when it comes to this long straight here. Now we're going to be seeing Mark Darwin, who is going in a little bit slow through this hairpin here, perhaps on a cooldown lap now, as he is still sitting very comfortably in P2, having set a 116.9, but not quite fast enough to dethrone Tengku Zhan Lei, separated basically by 0.04 of a second. So the thing is that Mark Darwin, he still is going to be sitting in the front row. He's still going to be taking pole position. And him on his cooldown lap, I don't think he's going to be able to set another fast time for quite some time.
9 minutes left for this qualifying round. Super sporting, and man, oh man, has it been a crazy one. And man, this is Tengku Zhan Lei being able to just get a relaxing time in this pit there. Beautifully done with a time of 1 minute 16.935.
Yeah,
23
and the thing
motors.
And the thing is that with Mark Darwin, like just coming into the pits now, he knows that he's still going to be able to sit on for quite a bit. The thing is that he's definitely going to be watching from when what will happen with Freddie Ang, who right now is sitting very, very close to the 116 mark, having set a 117 earlier on during this qualifying session. So right now your top 3 drivers separated by less than half a second are definitely going to be some of the highlights here, I believe, when it comes to the actual race.
Nicely done there, coming in from Brendan Lim. Will be attacking some of the chicanes with ease here as he goes off to the checkered flag, exiting turn number 9, turn number 10 with relative ease here, heading back to turn number 1. Nicely done there, coming in from Brendan Lim.
Brendan Lim right now is currently sitting in P6. So far been maintaining a pretty steady pace here of like a 118 so far during this qualifying, but still not able to break out onto the 117s yet. And that's going to be crucial because quite literally if he's able to better his own time by even 0.01 of a second, he will be able to overtake Xiaoming Ang Li to take P5. So this could potentially be something that might work. And looks like the side mirror of Freddie Ang there is a little bit too close to comfort on the concrete barriers.
And I think it could have been that moment where he was crossing one of those turns, when he was taking one of those turns, and he came in really, really close, like by a hair towards that turn. So it's definitely going to be something that he has to take into consideration when he wants to attack some of these turns with high speed. 7 minutes left on the clock for the super sporting class for the qualifying rounds.
Well, interesting development here. Boy Wong now. Okay, sorry, scratch that. That's actually the wrong timing there I'm looking at. But in any case, Kenny Lee is coming through the hairpin right about now. He's currently sitting in the 118s here. Haven't quite broken into the 117s, but he needs to get a little bit faster than 117.8 if he wants to be able to take P7 away from Boy Wong. So he's about to him 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on this session.
Nicely done there, coming in from the side of Kenny Lee, attacking some of these turns here. However, his time has not improved yet. Looking at Brendan Lim as well, his time is still maintaining. But you can see that Mark Darwin right now moving on, attacking some of these turns relatively well here as he's attacking this with high speed. Look at that, Mark Darwin laser motor racing with 1 minute 16 seconds on for his best lap in the books thus far.
He's out on track again, so he's going to be trying to at least improve his time a little bit, or at least try to defend against Freddie Ang, because he's separated from Freddie Ang by less than 0.005 of a second. So just a little bit of an improvement there from Freddie Ang is definitely going to tide over Mark Darwin and push him back into the second row. So Mark Darwin now out on track, attempting to defend his P2 position. In the meantime, though, for the rest of the grid, it's been mostly holding positions here for William Ho, for Shafiq Ali and Brendan Lim. Neither of these guys have been able to better their own time at 117. Though Shafiq Ali came a little bit close there, having set a 117.8 in his last lap there, but hasn't quite made an improvement when it comes to his Sector 1 time. Let's see if he's going to be able to improve when it comes to Sector 2.
Mark Darwin right now still with 0.014 of a second here. Excuse me, 0.43 of a second here from Tengku Janlei. So he does have a little bit of kinks to actually iron out if he wants to dethrone Tengku Janlei from his nice little relaxation spot in the pits.
You can see him actually being a bit frustrated as he came across the line there, because he realized the slight mistake in that final corner actually costed him at least 1/10 of a second there. So he's definitely going to try again one more time after this, because he still has 4 minutes and 30 seconds left after the clock. And Shafiq Ali, race director, perhaps a little bit of infraction on track there. But in any case, right now we are riding with Freddie Ang, who still has his side mirror completely folded up. But no matter, there's no overtaking to be worried about here, as this is a one-eye session. Freddie Ang has so far been trying to push the limits here of what his wheels is capable of doing. Absolutely loving that asymmetrical design there on his car.
Very, very asymmetrical indeed. However, symmetry aside, we do have 3 minutes and 50 seconds left of this super sporting class qualifying rounds for the books here, as we do see a lot of urgency being experienced by a lot of these drivers as they're looking towards getting their final few qualifying times.
That was a very clean last turn there. He's going to use that exit there, hopefully get a little bit more speed through the second round. He needs to be able to get into the greens here if he wants to be able to challenge Tengku Jan for that pole position. He's separated from him by literally 0.05 of a second there between him and Tengku Jan. So just a slight improvement there. He will be able to get on the pole, but just to get that little bit, you know, takes a lot of concentration, a lot of precision when it comes to the driving, and definitely a lot of tenacity as he's demonstrating as he comes down towards the chicane.
Now, beautiful attack there coming in towards that long straight before heading up to the hairpin chicane. Hairpin turn here on Freddie Ang. Nicely done here as he exits that pin, and he will be heading on to the next chicane here, as it is going to be turn number 6. That is going to be the next turn for him before heading on to another straight before that curvy chicane on to turn number 9.
It seems like Mark Darwin has slowed down there to let Freddie Ang through, so Freddie probably looking a little bit confused there as he came out of the exit of the hairpin. But definitely he's definitely on pace here, trying to set a good second 2, coming down towards the final corner. Let's see if he's going to be able to better his own time coming across the line. Only sets a 119, not enough here. Perhaps may be able to use the momentum coming off of this, and a clear track coming off the front here. He should be able to get a lot of space trying to set a much faster lap time and perhaps upgrade himself into that role.
Right, as this is going to be very interesting. We do see William Ho right now heading on to the pits here, as we are going to be watching from this perspective.
Brendan Lim, by the way, has just upgraded himself to P5, bumping down Shafiq Ali to P6. Brendan Lim was at 117.6 now. Is definitely going to be pretty happy with that result there. Even qualifying is coming to a close here. We've seen some of these cars get really dangerously close to this concrete barriers. They don't want to scrape it a little bit too much there, lest they lose a side mirror.
Lest they lose a side mirror will definitely not be conducive towards seeing what is behind them when it comes to race time. Remember, we are almost done and dusted with the Super Sporting Class qualifying rounds. This is our final qualifying rounds as we hit the final 60 seconds of this Super Sporting Class qualifying rounds for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival Vios Challenge 2019.
Car number 38. That is going to be Kenny Lee now coming through that final sector, coming to the last few corners, getting very, very close to the concrete barriers now as he attempts to try to set his last, possibly his last flying lap here. He's not able to get it to fly in time. 30 seconds left on the clock. I think he should be able to make it in time to make one more lap, but let's see what kind of lap time he's going to be able to make here. Coming across the line, does go ahead and set only 119.3, not quite fast enough to upgrade him anywhere in position. He stays in P8.
Tengku Lee spent most of his time inside the pit, very confident with his time here. Mark Darwin still tries to no avail to get that time better off. However, I don't think he will be able to do so. He has to enjoy that second spot as we are in the final seconds of this qualifying round, and the checkered flags being waved as we see our racers are going to be crossing that finish line and back into the pit. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a crazy qualifying round. There were chills, there were cheers, and man, oh man, was that collision very, very interesting indeed in terms of how it transpired.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the bigger spills here for this weekend. And the thing is, Boy Wong, I hope his car is going to be able to be turned around in time for race 1 later on today. Right now we see car number 63 taking the checkered flag now, but he knows that definitely he will not be able to set a better time here. He's going to be sitting into P2. Right now coming across the line as well is going to be Kenny Lee taking the checkered flag. I don't think he's going to be able to better his own time, and indeed he will be staying in the 118s. Brendan Lim is definitely the bigger winner here, having upgraded himself into P5 at the end of this session, putting him right behind William Ho in the second row. Then we got Shafiq Ali, the winner from the last race, now having only qualified into P6. Definitely a little bit of a disappointing result for him, but hopefully he will be able to make up for lost time when it comes to the race.
Definitely something to look forward to. This race, this qualifying rounds definitely was Tengku Lee's with a beautiful time. Mark Darwin, however, was not able to secure that first spot. Freddie Ang in third spot in car number 3 with a beautiful time of 1 minute and 17 with 9th of a second.
So right now the front row being dominated by these guys who are literally trying to break into the 116s here. You know that the super sporting class is one of the fastest classes here in this VO's challenge. So as the cars will be coming to the pits now, this signals the end of our super sporting class qualifying session.
And here we've got a replay for this, and man, oh man, the highlights were insane coming in for the super sporting qualifying rounds. It was a very, very action-packed race, qualifying round here, as lots of these racers were able to attack some of these corners with tremendous amounts of speed and crazy amount of control.
Exactly, and the thing is that, you know, put any kind of car like a Toyota Vios in the hands of these professional racing drivers, they can literally make it sing. And this is the crash here that occurred that put a pause into the qualifying session. Massive damage to that front left fender there from Boy Wong. And unfortunately, he had to sit out the rest of the qualifying. As a result, does stay into P7 though, having set a time of 117.8, which was difficult to overcome there for both Kenny Lee and Brendan Paul. And definitely. And then we also were watching Mark Darwin here. At one point was very, very close to beating Tengku for the pole position, but was not quite able to, because Tengku, he was way, way better than everyone else here, literally pushing the car to the limit.
And we're going to be taking a look at the results. Tengku Lee will be able to enjoy pole position here, followed by Mark Darwin, Freddie Ang, William Ho, Brendan Lim, Shafiq Ali, Boy Wong, Kenny Lee, and Brendan Paul are going to be the rest of our racers that are going to be placed from 2nd to 9th place in total. And gosh darn, was it such an interesting and very action-packed super sporting class qualifying session for all 9 races today.
I'm really going to be interested to see how the race will actually turn out here, because looking at how close these drivers are in terms of the lap times here, you know that they're going to be very, very competitive when it comes to that start. And getting a really good start here is definitely going to help a lot for those guys in the back of the grid. And if they are able to get that good jump at the start, they should be able to make up at least 1 or 2 places, and that would actually make up for a slight disappointment there if it came to qualifying.
All right, it's a beautiful time here, beautiful day here at the Toyota Gazoo Racing Festival. It was a crazy amount of action for the super sporting class here today. I am Nick Harris, and he is Victor Cax, and it has been a pleasure commentating for the qualifying rounds. Do join us for the race that is going to come soon.
Listen. Here is the sound of respect. The sound of unparalleled style. The sound of a car that says everything without saying anything. A car engineered to push standards, to push the status quo. There's only one place to go for a car like that. Forward. The all-new Corolla. Unspoken class.
Toyota, all about the drive. Toyota, all about the drive.